Hello, how to solve this exponential problem? This is x to the power of x equals x to the power of 3. We are solving for all values of x that satisfy this equation. Now consider this identity. If you have a power a equals a power b, now since the pieces are the same, we can have a equals b, right? So doing the same thing here, we can have x equals 3. Now this is just one of the solutions, but we have other solutions here. So let's solve it and find out all the solutions of x. We have x power x equals x power 3. So what I'm going to do will be to divide this by x power 3 and divide this by x power 3. So x power 3 cancels x power 3. This x power x divided by x power 3 equals 1. Now, next step will be to apply this index law. If you have a power n divided by a power n equals a power n minus n. So this will be x power x minus 3 equals 1. So at this point, we apply natural log. Natural log of x power x minus 3 equals natural log 1. Now, when you have natural log a power b equals b times natural log a. So applying this right here, we have x minus 3 times natural log x equals natural log 1. This is 0. Remember, natural log 1 is 0. So right now, we can formulate two different equations by putting each of these to 0. I have x minus 3 equals 0. I also have natural log of x equals 0. Now, this is a linear equation. So we solve by moving this negative 3 across here. That means we have x equals 3. That is my x1. And this is exactly what we had earlier on when we compared. So let's also consider this. This is natural log of x equals 0. Now to solve for x, we need to eliminate natural log. So we have e power natural log of x equals e power 0. E cancel natural log, we have x equals e power 0. And from here, we have x equals any number or alphabet raised to the power of 0 is 1. So this is 1. Now, using this approach, we are gotten two solutions, which are x equals 3 and x equals 1. So this is one way of solving this exponential problem. You can as well solve it using another method by directly making use of log or natural log. So let's go ahead and do that. So what I'm going to do will be, I will simply have x power s equals x power 3. So what I'm going to do will be to apply log or natural log. I have natural log of x power x equals natural log of x power 3. And don't forget the fact that if you have natural log of a power b, this equals b times natural log of a. So applying that here, we have x times natural log of x equals 3 times natural log of x, right? Because the x will come behind this and the 3 will come behind this. So what we are going to have will be x times natural log of x equals 3 times natural log of x. So what I'm going to do will be to move this over here and it becomes negative. I have x times natural log of x minus 3 times natural log of x equals 0. So at this particular point in time, we need to solve for x. We need to solve for x very fast. How do we solve for x? I can decide to factor out natural log of x. Natural log of x, natural log of x, I factor that out, times this divided natural log of x, I have x. Bring down the minus, this divided natural log of x, I have 3, and this equals 0. Have you seen that? So at this point, I can equate each of these to 0. So I will simply equate the natural log of x to 0, or I will also equate x minus 3 to 0, right? So let's solve in the individual equations. Now, we start with this natural log of x equals 0. That means we need to make use of e in order to eliminate the natural log. We have e power natural log of x equals e power 0. So what happened here is that the e cancel the natural log, and what we are going to have will be x equals e power 0, and from here x equals e raised to the power of 0 is 1. Right? Now, to solve this other one here, what we are going to do is to solve this linear equation. We move negative 3 over here. We have x equals 3. Have you seen it? We are still getting the two values for x. So guys, this is it. Now, even at this particular point of the equation, you can easily solve at this point. We have x times natural log of x equals 3 times natural log of x. Now, at this point of the equation, you can decide to divide this by natural log of x and divide this by natural log of x. So what will happen here is that this cancel this, and your x equals 3. Have you seen that? But this will not give you all the values of x. Rather, it's going to give you only the real value of only one value of x. Because they are both real, it will give you only one value of x, which is x equals 3. So guys, what I'm going to do again will be to check. Let's check for each of the values of x. We have x equals 3 and x equals 1. So we are going to check. Let's check if the values of x will satisfy the equation. So this is x power x equals what? X power 3. We start with x equals 3. That will be 3 power 3 equals 3 power 3. And what is 3 power 3? That is 3 times 3 times 3 equals 3 times 3 times 3. 3 times 3, 9 times 2, this is 27 equals what? 27. That has satisfied the equation. So let's also check when x equals 1. That will be x of x equals 1. So I'm going to have x power x equals what? X power 3. So I'm going to substitute 1 for x. So I will simply have 1 to the power of 1. Is it the same thing as 1 to the power of 3? Now, 1 to the power of 1 is 1, and 1 to the power of 3 is 1. In fact, 1 to the power of any number is 1. So this has also satisfied the equation. So ladies and gentlemen, the two values have satisfied the equation. I don't think there's any other value of x that will satisfy this equation, because even if you want to consider x equals 0, now you have x power x equals x power 3. X power, this will be 0 power 0, and this is not the same thing as 0 power 3, right? 0 power 0 here is undefined. But 0 power 3 is same thing as 0 times 0 times 0. So this is 0, but it's not the same as this. So this is undefined. 0 power 0 is undefined. Why 0 power 3 is 0? So this is not an obvious answer. So we have only two values of x, which are 1 and 3. So that is it. Thank you and goodbye.